recording as well. So the participants that we have today are a combination of students and people in the corporate. Some of you are looking for a data analytics career change. Some of you want to upskill. Some of you simply want to clear the Power BI certification. I'm sure all of you would be curious to see what other people said as the expectations from the training. So this is what you're looking at. So we are looking at skill learning, going from basic to advanced, starting from a beginner level, clearing PL 300. For those of you who are not aware, the older examination for Power BI used to be DA 100, D for Delhi, A for Ahmedabad. Very recently, they have changed that to PL 300. This is the only single certification offered by Microsoft. There is only one level to this. It's a 2.5-hour examination. I'll take you through the details for that as well. Then we're looking at dashboards. We are looking at basics, certification preparation, know about KPIs and some calculation. Then I can see transition from a BPO to a Power BI developer. All right. Looking at design and looking at DAX, which is how you do calculations. Then we're looking at insights, knowledge. To be fully trained in Excel application, all right. What else do we have? I'm just going to read out the different things. So we have visuals and reports, then we have finance, we have Power Query and Power Pivot, and understandable for somebody who's just starting with Excel. So I'll try my very best to cover as many of these things as possible, right? All the links that I'm going to share with you today, if you want to note it down right now, you can. I won't stop you, but then you should not bother because I will be sending you all these links after the session is over. I already have your email IDs, so I'll make sure of that. Okay, Saurav has mentioned there is no video. I hope it's working for you, Saurav, and for the others as well. If you have any issue with the audio or the video, please let me know then and there, and I will try to figure it out and fix it, right? Also, the chat window is open. The audio is open. Please interact with me. Ask me as many questions as you want. Do not worry about interrupting me. If you are interrupting me, I will tell you and I will answer that question later. But please ask as many questions as you want, right? Perfect. Okay, first thing I want to do is to just take a minute to tell you what I do as Havisham Consulting. Havisham Consulting is an analytics firm. I'm the proprietor. I work as an independent consultant. I do not have a team with me. Anything and everything I do with all my clients and business schools, I do it independently. At various points in the past, I have had people working with me as a freelancer or as a full-time employee. But as it stands right now, I work independently, right? Now, the work that I do is with a bunch of different clients. So you would not see any one particular sector here. I work with some government organizations. I work with CPG firms, BFSI clients. I work a lot in the energy and power sector. So I work with Adani Power, Adani Transmission, some oil and gas companies as well. So it's a very wide assortment of clients with whom I work. In addition to this, if you look at the certifications, I'm Harvard Online Certified in Data Science. I'm Power BI Certified, Microsoft Office Master. Havisham Consulting is a Microsoft partner. I was awarded the Indian Achievers Award for entrepreneurs, and I am also a 40 under 40 in analytics for my work done in Visual Basic for applications. In addition to my corporate work, if you're interested to see more about what I do, live, real use cases and practical problems, on articles and codes, you can see that I have the link to my YouTube channel, to my GitHub account, from where you can download all the files and all the dashboards, and then Medium, where I write a lot of articles. You can see there are a number of different things that I like to talk about, including Excel, Power Query, Power Pivot, VBA, everything from basic to advanced, right? My YouTube channel is by my name. It's Havish Madhupati. I have over 750 videos here. Again, it's not the same content over and over again. I like to talk about different things. For example, if you look at the recent 15 odd videos that I've put, this is all on HR analytics. A lot of people were asking me, why don't I create videos specifically for HR analytics on Excel? That's what I've done here, right? Then I also have, as you can see, videos on Power BI, specifically on Excel charts, on Tableau, VBA. And these are very long videos, okay? For example, if you look at the Power BI one, there is an entire 3-hour, 37-minute course on Power BI from basic to intermediate. And there is an advanced course on Power BI for finance, which is a 4-hour, 11-minute course. Obviously, all these links I'll share with you later. And finally, in addition to this, I also teach at a lot of business schools. So I've taught at 16 of the IIMs. Last month, I was at IIM Kozhikode for a 2-week training for the executive MBA batch. Again, all the details are there on the website. In case you're curious, you can always go and have a look at all this. Perfect. Now, talking about Power BI, there is a very nice link that I have created. And what I've tried to do with that link is that since there is so much content available on the internet, there are so many videos, so many excellent websites, I have tried to pull everything in a single location. So if you all can look at my screen right now, let me explain what this is, all right? See, this is a collection of links related to data analytics, modeling, Excel, Tableau, Power BI. It doesn't seem like a lot of content, but trust me, these are hundreds of links available. If I can just zoom in, you will notice that when I talk about, let's start with Power BI, you will notice that Power BI is a part of the Power Platform. Power BI is for dashboarding. Power Apps is for creating low-code mobile applications. Power Automate is an RPA tool allowing you to do robotic process automation. And Power Virtual Agents is for creating chatbots. All of these 4 together are called Power Platform. If we focus on Power BI, you will notice that as per the Gartner Magic Quadrant, Power BI is #1 in the market. This is the latest report from March 2022, couple of months back, followed by Salesforce, which owns Tableau now. Of course, there are a lot of other players in the market, but Power BI is the undisputed #1 in the market, used by 97% of the largest 500 companies in the US, so the Fortune 500. And now if you look at Power BI, I have categorized the type of visualizations. So we have inbuilt, custom, then we have R, Python, D3JS, ARIA, VAIQ. Of course, I will give you a live demonstration of all these things, but I just wanted to tell you that I have put in a lot of effort to try and get information from the best websites and the best places. And I've tried to put everything in a single place. So if you notice, these are the best official documentation and external websites for Power BI. Same thing, if you notice, these are the best YouTube channels for Power BI, right? The same thing I have started to do for Excel as well. Excel obviously is my core area. So if you notice in Excel, I've given the entire learning path. So where should you start on Excel? You should start with data cleaning, ETL, pre-processing of data. Then you should go to formulas and function. Then you should go to lookups, do lookup, indirect, exact, match, offset, address. Then you should go to pivot tables, dashboarding. Then you should do charts, date functions, conditional formatting, VBA statistics. And the most advanced topic here is dynamic arrays, right? But in addition to these, there are also other areas in Excel. One is called Power Query, which all of you will see today in Power BI. The other topic is called Power Pivot. And then, of course, we have Visual Basic. We also have JavaScript and TypeScript. So as you can see, this is a very comprehensive link. Even for data science, I have given the best websites for Python and all. And I keep on updating it, right? So how you see it today probably will get updated in another week, right? So of course, this link is a free public link. I will share this with you as well. Excellent. With that out of the way, I want to start with a live demonstration. Allow me to show you a few things in the next 10-15 minutes, and I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions after that, right? Now, since some of you have already been working on Power BI and some of you are looking at it for the first time, please don't mind that I start with a very basic level. Those of you who already know a basic level, I promise you I will cover more advanced topics, but not right now. For the next 10 minutes, I want to start from a basic level so that those of you who have never worked on Power BI do not feel that I'm going too fast, right? And I want to cover a lot of things in the next 1 hour. Power BI is a free application. You don't have to pay any money for it. It's 100% free to download and use, but it is only available on Windows. It is not available on Mac. So please keep that in mind. All of you can go to the Microsoft Store, as I'm doing right now, and you should be able to type Power BI desktop. And as you can see, Power BI desktop is completely free to download. Okay, now this is the first screen that you see when you open Power BI. But first, let me draw a picture. Let me tell you, why do we even need Power BI when we have a tool like Excel or Google Sheets with us, right? So I have a data set with me here. Let me show it to you. And if all of you look at the data set, it's a very nice, clean data set. And it's also a very large data set. So you can see that we have about 50,000 records with us. And we also have 15 columns with us. And what is the data that we have? We have order date, shipping date, customer name, city, state, country, region, market. Then we have the category, segment, subcategory. Then we have the sales quantity, discount, and the profit. Basically, this is the data for a company that is selling products across 5 markets around the world in 165 countries. And we have the transactional sales data. Now imagine that you wanted to extract some insight. Let me just make sure everybody is on mute. But like I said, whenever you need to unmute yourself, please feel free to do that. Okay, now imagine you want to ask yourself some questions. Things like, what is my total sales? Havish, can you tell me the profit margin? What is my best-selling product? Who are my top 5 customers? What is the forecast for the next 3 years? What is my trend line for the last 4 years? Is there any seasonality in the product? You get my point, right? There are so many questions that you have. And the only way to do that would be to make a pivot table, correct? Of course, you can write a formula, but that will take you even longer. A pivot is a better idea. For example, if I want to know who are my top 10 customers, how do I do that? I will go to Insert. I will select Pivot Table. Okay. After that, I'll put my customer name in rows. I'll put my sales in values. Then I'll sort my data from largest to smallest. And then finally, I'll apply a filter saying that I only want to see the top 10. And here you go. These are my top 10. Was that difficult? No. Is that how all of you do it? I'm pretty confident this is how all of you work, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is how we have been doing it for the last 30 years on Excel. But this is still a very manual process, right? You have to make a pivot, manually you have to drag and drop. And like this, you have to make a pivot table every single time you have a question. Mridul, we can't do conditional formatting because remember, we first have to aggregate the data also. Remember, one customer, Aaron Bergman, is not making one transaction. Aaron, if you notice, is making, look at this. Aaron is making 89 transactions. So I can't do conditional formatting because conditional formatting will not tell me who's the top customer. It will only tell me the value of the maximum transaction. Hope that makes sense, right? But that's not really what we want. Now, imagine I'm doing this on Power BI. Watch this. As you can see, I'm working with a blank, brand new Power BI file. I will go to Excel. I will select my exact same Excel file. And once I've done that, I can click on Orders Compact, which is my sheet. I load the data. And if you notice, the data has been loaded. So on the right side, you can see all the columns are there, right?
Sir, can we get this data set?
Right. There was also a question on the data set. After the session is over, I will also share another link with you where, if you notice, you can just go and I hope all of you can see this. I have given you not just one, but I've given you like 50 data sets to practice with. The data set that I'm just currently working on, if you can all see, look at this. This one, it's already there, right? This also is a public link. I will share it with you once the session is over. I'm not sharing it right now because in a 1-hour session, you will not get time to practice. But since the recording is there, you can always go back and practice. As far as the data set is concerned, I promise I'll share it with you. Right? Perfect. Now, imagine you wanted to know the top 10 customers. You want to know how simple it is? It is as simple as a double click. Watch this. I will just double click. It opens up a box. Now, this is artificial intelligence. So now it asks me, what do you want to know? So I want to know, for example, what is my total sales? How amazing is that? In one question, it tells you $12.64 million. But that's not really what we wanted, right? So I will keep this on the left side and I will copy it one more time. And I will say, okay, but I want to know the sales for my top 10 customers. Fair enough. So I will say sales, total sales, okay, but not total sales only. I want to know top 10 customer name by total sales. How amazing is that? One question, and you notice we have the same people: Tom, Tamara, Greg, Christopher, Sean, like that, right? If you want to make this into a table, let's just say as a table, and it will make a table for you. But it gets even better than this. Watch this. If I copy it one more time, and now I say that I want to see my total sales, let's say for Uttar Pradesh, okay? And I want to say by city as a map. Tell me, how amazing is that? Imagine the amount of effort it would have taken you to do this on Excel. Of course, you have maps even on Excel, but Excel is not really meant for dashboards like these. And this is all dynamic, okay? For example, if I click on any one state, do you see how the results are also changing? Right? All with just 3 simple questions. This is what we call natural language. So if you haven't heard of it before, we call it NLP, natural language processing. Natural language is an area which is in machine learning, AI, data science, data analytics, psychology, consumer behavior. It's an interdisciplinary subject. The idea of natural language is that you can ask a question in natural language. So I don't have to remember a query or a formula or a syntax. I can ask a question the way I would talk to you, right? If I say, can you tell me who are the top 10 customers? That's exactly what we are doing here, right? Before you ask your question, let me show you one more AI tool. Then I'll take a small pause, okay? Now imagine that I want to know the sales for my last 4 years, okay? So I will put my order date and my sales value, okay? But we will convert this not into a table, we'll make this into a column chart, right? But I just want to look at the last year, not the last 4 years. So I will expand it one time. And if you notice, it is showing me my quarter, and one more time, it is showing me my 48 months. But I don't want to see 48 months. I just want to see the last 6 months, okay? So I can just click outside, make a slicer, and I'll put my order date. And now I can say, I just want to see the last 6 months. That means I want to go to 2015, right? Doing it right in front of you. I want to go to 2015, and I want to select July 1st. As you can see, my last 6 months. Did you see how simple that was? Okay, now this is something which, more or less you can do even in Excel. You can make a timeline. But now I'll show you something you cannot do in Excel, which is to ask Power BI to give you an insight as to why has the sales declined from November to December. You can all see there was a decrease. I would like to know why that decrease has happened, right? Let me answer one question. So Sumit says, can you share me if I want to download the Excel sheet in Google? Okay, can I tell you if I can download the Excel sheet in Google? You can, but then I would suggest not to do that. Ideally, you should select a CSV file or an Excel file. Power BI's compatibility with Google Sheets is very recent, and I'm not really sure how good that is, right? Ideally, you should work with a CSV file or an Excel file. Anyway, the question was that I know there was a decline from Q4, 5,55,000 to 5,03,000, right? Now your manager says, but why has my sales declined from 5,55,000 to 5,03,000? And you don't have an answer to that, right? So what will you do? You will try to do everything possible. You will say, okay, what could be the reason behind this decline? You get my point, right? This is not that simple to know the reason behind a decline. What do I do here? I just click Q4, November and December, right click, and I will say from November to December, analyze the decrease. Now, do you see that Power BI has automatically detected that there is a decrease? So what do? We click on explain the decrease. And how awesome is that? It now uses AI to tell you that there was a decrease of 9.39%. Amazing, right? And if I scroll down, it also tells me the reason behind it. For example, if I can go to, look at this, year, quarter, month, and customer name, okay? And I make this into a scatter chart, and let me just add it. Do you see what we're doing right now? This is something we even do in machine learning when we do a k-means algorithm. What we are doing here, everyone, is that we are creating a scatter chart to see outliers in our data. You get my point, right? For example, look at Hunter Lopez. Hunter did 12,000, okay, in the last month, but Hunter has only done 1,400 in the current month. So what would you say about Hunter? Hunter is a bad sign. Hunter used to be a fairly large customer, but that customer has suddenly dropped in the last month. So as a business, what would you do? You would make sure that your sales team goes to that customer and tries to find out why has the sales decreased, and you will take some corrective action to improve on that. You get my point, right? Now, if you want to make it dynamic, I can also go to format. If you notice, I can simply go to format and we will insert a zoom slider. How awesome is that? Watch this. Let me expand it. So I have these zoom sliders at the bottom, and I can just zoom in into an area and I can try to find out the people in a cluster. In marketing analytics, we call it customer clustering. So there are a few terms associated with it. One is called customer. I'm sure all of you have heard of segmentation, right? So we have another term called customer clustering, which is exactly what we are doing right now. And in this, there are two methods that we use. One is called k-means, right? And the other is called KNN, right? These are actually parts of machine learning. So one is unsupervised, the other is a supervised technique. But why am I discussing machine learning when we're talking about Power BI? Because this feature is even there in Power BI. Okay, watch this. Watch this very carefully, what I'm doing. I want to see the change in all my products month over month. That means I can select my products and select my month. Now, all of you must be thinking that, Havish, this is not bad, right? If you look at the data, you can see the change, right? So you can see the change from month to month. Is this how you would want to present it to a client or to your manager? Of course not. There is absolutely no sense in this, right? Of course, if I look very carefully, I can see the numbers decrease or increase. But at one glance, if I ask you for any insight, you can't tell me anything, right? There is no pattern that I can figure out simply by looking at it. Fair enough? Now watch this. With the same data, I'm going to convert this into a scatter chart. Okay, right in front of you. I'll put my profit in my y-axis. I will put my subcategory in my values. So there are 17 dots because each dot represents a subcategory. Let me also add the label so you can see it carefully. Watch this. And you know the best part? I can now put my month in the play axis and look what happens. How awesome is that? It tells me that this was my sales in the month of January. Okay. What happened in February? Did you see how all the 70 products shifted? Some products remained constant, some increased, some decreased. If I go to August, do you see how considerably things have changed? But the problem is your manager will say, but I can't really see the change happening. Sure, I know that something has changed, but what has been the extent of that change? So there's this beautiful feature here called a highlight. Watch this. If I click on chairs, okay, watch very carefully. Do you see how that line is telling me how has chairs moved month by month? How awesome is that? Check this out. And I can even do it with multiple, right? Like this. To make it a little easier for you, I'll just put the month. I'll just replace the month with the year and see how nice this is. If I select my phones and I select my storage and I select my tables, this is such a beautiful way of visualizing your data, right? Remember, the same data was there in the table as well. But now I can derive an entire story from it. I can say that tables have increased a little bit from 2012 to 2013. Then it dropped in 2014 and it continued to drop even further in 2015. What about phones? Phones actually declined a little bit, okay, in profit from 14 to 15, but then it remained flat. And then look what happened. From 12 to 13 to 13 to 14 to 14 to 15, like this, right? That is how you can derive an entire story from it, right? Okay, so I'm going to pause for 2 minutes. Any questions that any of you have? And I hope all of you saw how simple everything was. Of course, I'll show you formulas as well, but so far, everything I've shown to you requires absolutely zero formulas. Any questions, anyone?
Bhavish, when can we expect Power BI on Mac? You know my question.
Yeah, so there's a way to handle that. So there is a software called Parallels, right?
Yeah, that is there.
That's the only option you have. You install it, install Windows on your computer, and run Power BI.
That is a very
It works
cost-effective
okayish. Yeah, it will work okayish, not perfectly. But then, unfortunately, Power BI for Mac will never happen. I'll also tell you the reason why.
Oh.
Whenever you're working on Power BI, you will notice that at the back end, do you see this?
Yes.
SQL Server is running in the background. So this is a Windows application. This is a Microsoft tool. It will never be available on the Mac because it's just too much effort on Microsoft's part. It's not that they can't do it. Office is available on the Mac, but I highly doubt that they will ever do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that's not the answer you were looking for, but then I can't help it.
Anyways, thank you.
Cool. Any other question, anyone? Anything else? Anything on your mind?
But this is really awesome.
It is. It is. I mean, I remember the first time I did it was in 2017 November. I still remember. I was in Jasola in my office, and I made a map. And I was blown away because you never could do these things in Excel, right? So it was absolutely fantastic to see the sort of things Power BI can do. Okay, let's do something different now. Before I do an example showing you how to do data cleaning and how to use calculations in Power BI, I just want to show you something else. Okay, very important question. Kunal, as of today, you cannot present Power BI on PowerPoint, but you are very lucky. This feature has not been there for 6 years. Power BI is 6 years old, but PowerPoint, Power BI integration is going to come this month, literally this month. If you notice, check this out. May 2022, we are going to have an integration of PowerPoint with Power BI. So basically, you can present a Power BI report directly within a PowerPoint slide, and you can even interact with it. How awesome is that, right? Of course, you will have to create everything on Power BI, but you can present it on PowerPoint. But as of today, the feature isn't there. I'm expecting it to come by the last week of this month. Okay, let me show you some ready-made examples. See, these are the inbuilt visualization. But in addition to these, there are lots of visuals that you can download from the market. Like on Android and iOS on your phone, you download an application, right? You can do the same thing even in Power BI. Watch this. So I'm going to select more visuals. I hope all of you can see my arrow. I click on this, and there are more than 300 visualizations available. Of course, some of them are paid, but a lot of them are free as well. So I want to show you one of these. I want to show you the donut chart. Okay, check this out. And this is like one of those charts that once you see it, you want to use it. Just see this. I'm going to download the sample and prepare to be impressed 100%. Watch this. Can I help you with learning path? Absolutely, Karan, I'm going to do that. So the short answer is you learn data visualization, then you learn Power Query, finally you learn DAX. That's the order: data visualization, Power Query, and DAX. I will also tell it at the end of the training. And of course, my channel has a lot of content on it that will help you as well. Anyway, as you can see, everyone, we have a donut chart, and no big deal, right? It looks like a donut chart. What's the big deal? Watch this. Do you see this? This is marketing, right? So we have marketing, products, development, sales, and analytics. If we click on marketing, look what will happen. I can break my department into different titles. Check this out. How awesome is that? Head of marketing, senior marketing manager, and so on and so forth. If I click one more time, I can go to the next level. And if I want to go back, I can do this. Awesome, right? I mean, this is one of those charts which is a little better than existing pie charts, but it is not so different that people don't know how to use it. It's so easy to use because intuitively, a person knows within 5 seconds, okay, I'm supposed to click on this and I can go back. That's the beauty of Power BI. No coding required. You can just download these free visualizations. Right? Okay, let me show you one more. I want to show you something else now. I have already downloaded it to save time. I would like all of you to see this. Check this out. I want to show you. Just hold on a minute, everyone. Yeah. Animated bar chart trees. This is also a free visualization. I'm sure all of you must have seen it on LinkedIn at some point or the other. And you can actually do this in Power BI in 15 seconds. Okay, watch this. How awesome is that? Zero coding. The same thing if I wanted to do on Python, I was required to do like 20 lines of code. It's not simple. Doing this on Power BI is literally, watch this. Brand, value, year, color. Just that's it. 4 drag and drop, and you're able to create something like this. See this. And it's just one of those things. It's a bar chart. It's not that we have never worked with a bar chart before, but this just makes it so much more, it makes it so much better, right? Look at this. I can actually go. Do you see this, everyone? I can actually go year by year to see the change happening. And it's so visual. I can actually see what is going down, what is going up, which are the new brands that are coming in. And I can also set it to autoplay. As you can see, I'm not clicking on anything. It automatically starts to play. And remember, I've only shown you 2 visuals, donut and animated. There are 300 visualizations available on Power BI. That is how beautiful the platform is, right? Okay. Now, for those of you who work in finance, there is a specific visual for you. It's not a visual, it's almost like a software. Even though it is not free, it is paid, but it is so good, you should all have a look at it. Watch this. It's called Info River. Okay. And this is amazing. Check this out. All right, check this. So this is literally Power BI, and I'm actually creating an Excel file within Power BI. Watch this. How awesome is that? Do you see this, everyone? This is not a visual. It's not just giving me an output. I can actually interact with this table just like an Excel file. Look at this. I can minimize, I can maximize, I can change the font size. I can do condition formatting. That's crazy, right? I don't even need Excel anymore because most of the basic features that I wanted to do in Excel, I can do here. Now, if you're thinking, but Havish, what if we want to write a formula? How do we do that? You can write formulas as well, right? I'm not really sure where the option is, but must be somewhere. But you can actually write formulas here as well. Of course, it's not a, look at this quick formula. Do you see this? It's not a replacement for Excel, but then for a lot of reports that we create, especially financial reports, this is absolutely fantastic, right? I'm sure all of you will agree. And see, right now, there are very few companies using it. 1 is because it's so new. 2 is because it's paid. And 3, because a lot of companies have just started working with Power BI, so they don't even know the capabilities. But in another 2-3 years, Power BI is going to become as integral as Excel. You know, like today, when you apply for a job, some of you work in the corporate, some of you are students. Can you ever apply for a job where you say we don't know Excel and the JD says that Excel is not required? Ridiculous, right? Of course, Excel is required. And if you know advanced Excel, it helps you create a better impression. The same is true for Power BI as well. Power BI is slowly starting to become an integral part of everyone's profile. Whether you are in data analytics or not, it doesn't matter. Of course, if you're in data analytics, you have to learn it. But even if you're not in data analytics, you still have to learn it because Power BI is almost a staple like Excel. And I've seen the change in the last 2 to 3 years. In another 2 to 3 years, I mean, I can only imagine what will happen. I can't think of any company that will not be working with Power BI, right? Okay. Now that I've shown you AI, I've shown you a dynamic visual, and I've shown you the custom visuals. Let me also show you something different, which is the data cleaning part of it, right? Okay. So I have a folder with me here, which is on my desktop. This is the training I did at IIM Code as well. I'll do the same example with you. Of course, I can't do the entire example, but I'll try to cover a little bit of it. Okay, watch this. So I want to show you the model. Okay, check this out. Do you see that there is a folder which has 3 files in it, right? So I have 2011, I have 2012, and I have 2013, right? Now ask yourself, if you had to combine the data from all the 3 files into a single file, what would you have done? Copy and paste, right? Obviously, there is no other way other than copy, paste, one below the other like this. You can't do anything else, right? But now you can. Watch this. I'm going to go to Power BI. And see, I've not created ready-made examples. I'm doing it everything live in front of you so that you can actually see how simple it is, okay? I want to go to Get Data, and I will select More. You can also see the types of sources that Power BI can connect to, not just Excel. I can get into Excel, text, CSV, XML, JSON, PDF, SharePoint, SQL, Google, SAP HANA, SAP Business Warehouse, Amazon, Azure. It's crazy, right? I mean, look at the number of connectors that you have, right? I mean, a lot of, there was a complaint before that it cannot connect to Google Sheets, and they've actually added that. There was a complaint that it cannot connect to Zoho. One of my clients was asking me, look at this, they have given an option for Zoho Creator now. Anyway, for now, what do? We want to connect to a folder. Remember, we are not connecting one Excel file, we are connecting 3 Excel files, and I don't want to select them one by one and then, do it manually. I want to do it automatically. Watch this. So I select folder, I'll click on connect. It will ask me for the folder path. Let me do that. So I'll go to IIM Core Code, and let's go to files, and then Power BI, and then model, and then sales historical, and OK. One more time, we click on OK. The first thing it does is it confirms to me that, Havish, there are 3 files in that folder, right? There could be 300 as well, but as of now, there are 3 files in that folder. I will combine and transform. And now it will ask me to select the sheet. So I'll select the sheet, which is called sales, and I click on OK. And that's it. A new window opens up, and you know what we have done in just a few clicks, everybody? Watch this. This is called Power Query, okay? And if you notice, 2011, 2013 combined in one single click. How awesome is that? But it gets even better than this. If you add any folder, okay, watch this. In the same folder, if you add any file, okay, and I simply click on refresh, one click, check this out. How awesome is that? 2011, 12, 13, 14, right? Any questions on this, anyone? We can do this in Python as well. See, let me be very honest. It's not that we can't do these things in other languages. In Python, we have something called a blob, is it? I don't quite remember. Just let me check once. Okay, combine multiple files. Hold on.
So Havish, we just combined 3 different Excel files with similar kind of data, but for different years, right?
Correct. And do you want to know what will happen if the data set is not the same? That's your question,
sure.
Right? Okay, watch this. Now, what can be the different problems in our data? See, real life is not that simple. Students, you might not know this right now. And people in the corporate already know what I'm saying. Data will never be this simple in the corporate. So I have spoken about different problems. Number 1, what do you do if the files are same? Number 2, what if the data is not starting on A1? What if the columns are incorrect? What if the order is different? What if the spelling is different? What if there are more columns? What if there are less columns? What if the sheet name is different? What if there are multiple sheets? What if there are multiple subfolders? You get my point, right? There are all sorts of issues with the file. And I have taken 70 such examples, and I've actually created a video on YouTube explaining how to handle every one of these issues. Power Query can handle all of these problems. Of course, this is going to be a little more complex than what we just did, because you might have to write a formula or two, but you get the idea, right? Excel, we can't even do it without doing it manually. At least now we can do it in an automated manner, right? This is the video, everyone. This has been covered in my Power BI course as well, how to combine multiple Excel files, right? I hope that answers your question and everybody else's question. Good question, Sumit. So Power Query is a part of Power BI and Excel. A lot of people don't realize, but Power Query is not a special feature, that it is only available on Power BI. If you notice, you might be surprised to know this, everyone. Do you see this? I actually have Power Query in Excel as well. Look at this. When I showed you that you can select the files from a folder and combine it in one click, or rather a few clicks, I can actually do the same thing even from Excel, because Power Query is exactly the same in Excel as well as Power BI, right? Okay, since we are on Excel, let me just take a minute to show you something very cool. I think most of you will not have this feature yet. It's a very new feature. This is amazing. Check this out. Okay, can somebody tell me what is the population of New Delhi? Quick answer. I don't know how many of you are from Delhi, but
2 crores, 2 to 2.5
something like
crores.
that. Now, imagine that you're working in an organization. It requires you to go to Google, go to a website, validate the data, correct? Check this out. I can just convert this. This is a new feature. I can convert New Delhi into a geography. And I will say New Delhi belongs in India. How awesome is this? Watch this. I can say C3 dot population. It tells me 2,70,53,486. Amazing, right? I mean, it is actually pulling data from the internet from an Excel file, right? I don't even have to do anything else, right? How awesome is that? Check this out. If I say Tata Motors, this feature some of you might have. So if I convert this into a stock, okay, right in front of you, I can actually say equal to stock history. And I can say for Tata Motors, I would like to know the start date as, let's say, 1/1/2020, and my end date as 1/1/2022. And I want to see my monthly header, date, open, high. Actually, that should be more than enough. Check this out. How awesome is that? One single formula, and it's actually pulling your financial data for you. So don't, while we are talking about Power BI today, please, guys, do not ignore Excel. Excel can do the sort of things you can't even imagine, right? Not knowing doesn't mean it's not there, right? I mean, Excel has so many amazing, wonderful things in it. And, I'm still more passionate about Excel than Power BI, to be honest with you, while I do a lot of my work on Power BI. But if you notice, I have a channel I have a playlist on my channel, and look at the sort of examples I've covered on Excel. I mean, you'll be absolutely blown away. Check this out. Something which would be relevant for all of you. I want to select one of those examples. Hold on. Okay, I can't really find a good example, but damn it. Okay, maybe let's select this one. Check this out. So as you can see, here I've explained how to write a single formula. If you have the date of birth, it will tell you the year, month, and the days. I mean, this used to be like such a complex process, and see what I've done here. I've just created a single formula called, right in front of you. It's called, one moment. Do you see this? Expanded date difference, and it just gives you the result. Actually, this is not the one. It was a different one. Hold on. Yeah, this one, expanded age. One single function, expanded age, will automatically tell you this. I don't know how many of you have had the need to do it before, but I'm sure you will agree with me. This was never an easy task to get this result, even if you knew how to do it. And like this, there are so many different things I've covered. Like the other day, a client was asking me, how do I send automated emails using Excel? So I actually covered that example using Outlook. If you look at this, check this out. How to automatically send an email using Outlook in one click. So no need to do it manually anymore. So like this, there are lots of things that have been covered on my channel. I would strongly recommend all of you to at least have a look at it. I'm confident you will find something useful, right? Okay, perfect. Going back to Power BI. So we have
So,
this.
I would like to, interrupt you. Sorry for the interruption. So,
Please.
because you're talking about price. So again, my name is Sushant. I joined the call little late, so I'm sorry for that. Because you're talking about price. So generally in finance, we get the price from Bloomberg, right? So
Right.
how reliable is this price?
There is an API. As long as you have the Bloomberg API with you, you should be able to pull the data directly from Bloomberg. Oh, you're talking about Excel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Excel uses, Microsoft has a partnership with Refinitiv,
Okay.
right? So, yeah, I mean, and Refinitiv is a fairly large company. So, yeah, that's what they do. So reliability should not be a question at all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, just to answer that question completely, I think Bloomberg has a partnership with Microsoft as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check. Or they are planning one, something like that. Hold on. Bloomberg. No, it's not there, but I think I heard that they were planning something. Or maybe it was, I think SAP has add-ins. Bloomberg might add it later. Of course, even to use it, you need to have a paid account and a subscription. But then Excel most likely will have that integration directly. So if you have a Bloomberg account, you can pull in data directly into Excel from Bloomberg.
Yeah, because Bloomberg charges $3 for one securities price. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Pricing will not be different. It's just that you don't need to have a middle layer. First go to Bloomberg, download the file, pull it on Excel. You should be able to do it directly. In fact, if you have an API with Bloomberg, I don't know if you do, I'm not an expert. If you notice,
So
I can actually connect
yeah,
to
there is a
web.
Bloomberg add-in, so through which we get the price.
Absolutely. Oh, you have a Bloomberg add-in, right? Perfect.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, that answers the question, no? So Excel, if you don't have a feature on Excel natively, you can also always create an add-in for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Now we have seen the combination of multiple files. I also showed you that it will work even if the files are not the same format. But remember, that part will be a little more complex. Anyway, I want to show you something else. Now imagine that I also wanted to get the data for the next year. Okay. That means that in my folder, I have another folder which is 2014. But there's a slight problem here. The problem is the data is not the same, which is what I'm sure all of you will agree with, that the data keeps on changing. So when I select my second folder, let me show you live what the challenge is. When I select my second folder, which is 2014, once again, I'll go to IMK, File, Power BI, and finally, let me go to Model and Sales Current. Okay. Obviously, this time there is only one file in the folder, but there is a slight challenge. The challenge is that my order ID, okay, is not the same. If you notice, in my original data, historical data, 2011, 2012, 2013, my order ID was given to us in, check this out, in a single column, right? But the problem is that in the new data, my order ID has been given to us in 3 different columns. Now you might say, okay, what's the big deal? In Excel, what would you do? Concatenate, isn't it? You will make a new column, you will say equal to this and this and this, or equal to concatenate. How do you do the same thing in Power Query? Very simple. I will select the 3 column right in front of you, 1, 2, and 3. I will right click and I will select. Look at the options I have. I have an option called merge columns. I'll select that. In merge, I'll say my delimiter is a hyphen and I want to call the new column order ID. How awesome is that? Just one click, I have combined the order ID. Now we have one more problem, which is that my location, which is my, where did it go? Hold on. Yeah, my city, state, and country have been given in a single column, but we want to split it into 3 columns. In Excel, we would have done a text by columns. Here we can do text to column. Here we do right click, split column by delimiter, and I will simply say my delimiter is a comma followed by a space, right? So comma followed by a space, and if you notice, it gives me the result. I'll also change the name here, so I'll call it city, I'll call it state, and finally I'll call it country, right? Okay, now this is great. Now I want to combine the old data and the new data. So we can go to Append Queries and we'll say Append Queries as new, and I simply want to combine my sales historical with sales current. And if you notice in just a few clicks, no formulas, I have combined 11, 12, 13, 14, like this. Now imagine you want to write a formula of some sort. Maybe I have the sales and the quantity and the cost of goods and the shipping cost. I want to calculate the profit. Now, how do you write a formula in Power Query? In Excel, we know we can make a column and write a formula. Here, how do you write a formula? I will go to add column, custom column, and I will select my profit is equal to, let's say, my sales value minus my cost of goods sold minus my shipping cost, right? So if you notice, I get my calculation, right? Okay, let me show you one other thing. This is about the customer name, right? Now, to avoid any complication, I just want to remove all the other columns. Now, imagine you wanted to reverse the data. I want to call it Swindle, Toby, Maxwell, Greg. In Excel, it's not that simple, right? I'll have to use left, right, mid, length, find, repeat, substitute, all of that. Here, we have this beautiful AI feature. So I can right click and I can say add column from examples. Watch this, this is very cool. I just have to give a sample. So I will say, I want Toby. Do you see what it is doing, everyone? It is automatically writing a formula called text.before delimiter. You don't have this formula in Excel. You only have this in Power Query. But this is not what we wanted. No, we wanted Swindle, okay, comma, Toby. It doesn't work. Let me give one more sample. So I wanted to give Maxwell, comma, and I wanted to give G. How awesome is that? As I give more samples, it understands my problem a little better. And if you notice, I'm not sure why it's not working. Okay, it actually has to be T. How awesome is that? Look at this formula, everyone. It has automatically created the formula for me. This is amazing. You know, so when people ask me what is the future of Excel and what is the future of Power BI, I tell people the future is AI. AI is going to impact you, even if you're not a programmer, in all sorts of ways. I can create a chart, I can ask a question, I can get an insight, I can bloody even create a formula without doing anything manually. I don't have to learn, okay, what is splitter.split text? I don't have to learn what is text.combine. I don't have to bother with the syntax. Everything is going to be done for me automatically. I just give it a sample and it automatically builds the formula for me, right? Amit, the recording will be there, shared with you as well. Plus, everything I'm covering right now has been covered on my YouTube channel in a lot of detail, so you don't have to worry about that. Perfect. Any questions on this, anyone?
Yes, I do have one question. So,
Tell me.
see, now in my organization, they are already implemented Tableau. So when I'm asking them to implement Power BI, they're saying no, there is a governance issue, blah blah blah. So how can I, give me some suggestion to convince them?
Yeah, that's very hard, and also in a way, I would say it's very difficult to shift. They're not wrong. You know, the problem, governance and all is not the problem. I'll tell you the real problem. The real problem is there is already so much legacy data because people must have created so many things before. Now, shifting everything from Power BI to Tableau is not that easy. It will take a lot of time and effort, right? I just want to show you something. I hope this helps you a little bit. See, I want to show you some dashboards I have created. So I don't just want to tell you I'm a very good trainer and I'm very good with Power BI. I actually want to show you. See, I can't show you any client work because it's all confidential, but I'll show you some other reports I've created. Okay, watch this. So these are different reports. Some of them I've created on Tableau, some of them I've created on Power BI. These are all on Power BI. As you can see, HR, learning and development, right? Recruitment data, training data. Okay, check this out. This is all marketing and sales data, right? And these are all different dashboards, right? And this is cost of acquisition, digital marketing, right? This is location-wise data. And obviously these are all dynamic, but I'm showing you the PDF right now. These are Tableau. Do you see this? This is Tableau, this is Tableau, this is Tableau. So my answer would be, this is all a combination of Power BI and Tableau, by the way. Okay. So my point is that learnings are transferable. If you know how to do year-over-year change on Power BI, you can do it on Tableau as well, right? You just have to learn a different function. The challenge is going to be to shift all the old work to Power BI. I think the logic you can give them, the reason for the change is that the integration with Excel is very good. Also, Power BI is going to be integrated with PowerPoint later this month. That is a very strong factor, right? Which will help. Plus, Tableau is very difficult to learn because Tableau does not have a store from where you can download visuals. Everything you want to do, you have to create yourself manually. Power BI has more than 300 charts. So it's much easier for non-programmers and non-coders to work with Power BI compared to Tableau. But then, that's the only thing I can tell you. But at the end of the day, if they don't want to shift, they don't want to shift. Can't really help it. Rutuja, yes, you can link live data with Power BI as well. We call this, you can just search for Google it, Power BI streaming data. I can connect it to the SQL Server also. And then if you want to connect it with like an IoT application, then we have something called real-time streaming, in which you can connect it via a push data set, right? So you have PubNub, and basically it's an API that you have to put, right? But the short answer is it works. Perfect. Any other question, anyone? Okay,
I think
please.
it will be newbie questions. So I have a little bit knowledge about it, but as a newbie, I would like to ask, how much time does it require to learn Power BI? So that's what the
so I want to talk about that. Absolutely. See, I started learning Power BI in, where's my notepad? Okay, so I started learning Power BI in March 2018 is when I properly started learning it. I gave my certification in July 2020 when COVID happened, no? Yeah. And 700 out of 1000 is the pass score. And despite my 20 years of experience on Excel and 2 years of experience on Power BI, I actually got like a 708. I just managed to clear it. My point is, it's a tough exam, okay? You can't expect to clear the exam if you have not done a lot of preparation, right? Thankfully, Microsoft has made it very clear as to what you have to study, right? So let me just show you the examination as well. It used to be called DA 100 earlier, okay? Everyone, it used to be called DA 100, Analyzing Data with Microsoft Power BI. Now it has been retired just a few months back. Now it has become PL 300, okay? This is the only one certification that Microsoft offers. There aren't multiple levels in it, just one level. Mahesh, API is not an added. API is a concept in programming, not in programming, in IT. For example, when I just let me give you a good example. Hold on. If you see money control, do you see that they have the stock data for today? How do they have the stock data? Who is originally having the stock data? The exchange, right? So the BSE and the NSE, right? How is money control getting that data? Because BSE and NSE are allowing them to take the data from them, right? It might be free of cost, it might be paid. Most likely it will be free. This is what is called an API, an application programming interface. So because money control can get data from, let's say BSE, and BSE is allowing them to get the data, that is what is called an application program interface, because you are interfacing between two programs, two applications, right? Again, you can just Google it. You'll have a lot of content available on it. Anyway, so back to what I was saying about the certification. See, they have written this in a lot of detail. India is only 4,800, and you can even give it at home, right? You just have to take like different images of your room to make sure that you're not cheating. It will be proctored, so somebody will be sitting, ensuring that you're not talking, cheating, talking to somebody else, taking help. But you can give it from home. That's how I gave my examination. And if you look at this thing, I'm so sorry. The outline, they have given everything in detail. explaining what all they ask. So preparing the data is this much. But remember, this is going to expect you to learn everything. Look at this. You have to know what is Microsoft Dataverse. You have to know what is a parameter. You have to know what is the data flow, which is online Power BI. Then you have to know configurations. Then you have to know data modeling. You have to know schemas. You have to know how to create a date table. These are the easy part. Then you have to know DAX, which I did not get a chance to cover today. Then you have to do what you see in Power BI is basically only the data visualization part, which is only 1/4 of the exam. Other than that, there are many, many things that they will ask. Look at all this, right? Syncing slices. Look at this. You even have to learn what a data gate is, what is schedule refresh, how to create workspaces. So there is a lot that you will have to study. I'm not sure what is the one perfect place to go to, because when I gave my examination, I used to go to a lot of different places, right? So if you want to do PL 300, and if I Google it, there are many good websites that talk about it. Of course, my own courses are there that will help you quite a lot, but then I don't give any guarantee that you will clear the exam, because the exam requires you to know a lot more things. But then YouTube has some wonderful content on it, and you can just sort of go here and have a look and see. I don't have any recommendation as such, because I haven't tested them out personally. A lot of people have recommended Enterprise DNA. I'm not sure if they have a course on PL 300. I'm sure they will. Yeah, maybe you can just look at Enterprise DNA. It's a wonderful website. I think their courses are quite expensive, but then yeah, they're really good, right? So you can maybe have a look at them, right? Perfect. Anything else, anyone? Right.
So
remember, my channel has a lot of content, so please make sure to have a look. Hope you find something useful there. Yes.
So regarding your course, because I see, entire bundle of course you given, I think 2,500 some odd. So talking about
Correct.
okay, so how much hours?
See, I'll tell you what. So my course, if I have to put a percentage on it, I would say I cover about 75%, to be very honest with you, right? There are certain areas which I don't even touch upon. So for example, workspaces, Power BI Online, Dataverse, I don't even touch upon these things. But the 75% that I do cover, I cover it very well, right? But let me be honest with you. My course has not been created with the point of clearing a certification. My course is more from a learning perspective. So if I can just show you all what I've covered in the course, in case you're curious. Because, clearing a certification is very different to learning. Learning, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Learning is something where you learn because you want to use that learning. Certification is something where you do it because you want to get a certificate. That's all. Anyway, this is what I cover in my course. Everything has been given in detail, right? As you can see, it's very detailed. Everything is covered properly: Power Query, Power BI, finance, calculation. But if I have to put a number, I would say only 75% of the syllabus has been covered. 25% which has not been covered, you will still have to learn it from some other place. Right? I have had a few students who have done my certification, had done my courses and cleared a certification. But then honestly, only doing my course might not help you, because you have to score 700. No. So if for the rest of the 30%, you're not even attempting it, then I doubt that you can get 700 out of 750, if you get my point, right? So yeah. But from a learning perspective, I'm very confident, because this is tried and tested. This is something that I've taught a lot of companies with. Fortune 500 companies, some of the largest companies, Flipkart and Amazon, a lot of business schools, right? So the content I am very confident about, because I have created it, I have recorded it, and I know how much effort I put into it and how frequently I update it, right? And if you're on the fence, you're not sure, should I buy this, should I not buy it? I have 750 videos on YouTube, right? So I think that should give you a very good idea. If you watch these videos, and these are full length videos, as you can see, 4 hours, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So this will give you a very good idea that, do I like Havish's content? Do I like his teaching style? Do I like the type of case studies he's covering? And to each their own, some people love it. Some people might, not like it so much. So I think that's a very personal choice. Great. What else? Anything else? All the links, like I promised, I'll share with you. So I'll share with you YouTube channel, Lucid Chart, all the YouTube channels for other people, and the free data sets as well.
So Havish, do you conduct any, live workshops?
I only do it with corporate clients. I do not do it with, I don't do open sessions, which are paid workshops, because, corporate clients pay an X amount to me per hour. If I do an open session, then I can't expect you to pay 2,000 an hour, right? Just to give an example. So that's why open sessions I don't do. But I mean, if you all look at my calendar, so I work with different clients. So Adani, DCM, right? So then you can look at the different type of clients that I'm working with. So last month I did DTDC, I did Philips. Of course, I was at IIM Code for 2 weeks. So most of my month was busy with that. This month I'm working with Lixil, which is the company that owns Grohe and American Standard, right? In May, I have something planned with Volvo, right? I have 5 sessions planned with them. Tomorrow, I have a training with Cvent, which is a NASDAQ-listed SaaS company. So I work with different clients, but yeah, I mean, I don't do open paid sessions. YouTube and online courses are the 2 things that you have.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. We have already overshot time. I wanted to show you a lot more, but I'm happy about what we did manage to cover. I hope for all of you, it gave you some clarity. And for those of you who are just starting out, at least now you have an idea of what it looks like. How is it different to Excel, right? And now you can, of course, start your journey, start working with Power BI. Search for internship, Prateek. I'll tell you what I do. Because I have to search for clients. No, of course, I don't have to search for internships. I have created a portfolio. So if you look at my GitHub account, right, I'll show you live. Check this out. So if you look at my GitHub account, and if I show you Power BI, I've actually created all my reports here. Do you see this? All my dashboards are available here. This is my profile. This is my portfolio. This is what I can present to a client where I'm trying to convince them, about how good a trainer I am. The other thing I do is that I have a Tableau public profile. If I can show you, I have this on Power BI as well. So if I can show you quickly my public profile, you will see that the dashboards I've created are available. So I just send this link to a client. And when they see this, they are able to understand, okay, this is what Havish does. I just open one of these for you. Right. So if you notice, this is a dynamic dashboard. Do you see this? So this is a very, let me just mute everyone, just a moment. Okay. So if you notice, this is a dynamic dashboard. And this is a very good way for me. See, when I'm meeting a new client and I want to show them, I want to get work from them, right? So I open something like this, and this gives them confidence that Havish has actually done it before. So we are sure he can do it again. If I just tell them that I have 15 years of experience and I've worked with so many clients, it doesn't add any value, right? I have to show them live what it is capable of, what the tool is capable of and what I'm capable of. The same thing I've done for Power BI as well. If you notice, I've created these dynamic dashboards. So whenever I have a meeting, I will just open one of these and I'll show it live. So if you notice, I have everything ready with me. Check this out. Do you see this? It's a live dashboard, right? And it's like a very detailed dashboard. Look at this. So if I want to go to the customer analytics sales trend, I can see the sales trend as well. Yeah, so that would be my suggestion. Please make your portfolio. Start putting it on LinkedIn. Some of you, of course, you must have added me on LinkedIn. You've seen how prolific I am on LinkedIn, right? A lot of people don't like it. They say, why do you post so much on LinkedIn? And I tell them that's how I run my business, right? Why would I not post on LinkedIn? Do you ever complain that why does Maruti Suzuki have so many ads on television? That's ridiculous. You will only remember the people and the brands who advertise more, right? That's why I advertise a lot. You have to constantly keep on advertising. Even if you're working inside a company and you want to show to your managers and your leaders how well you are performing, please make videos. A video is probably the best way to show people what you have learned, what you have done, and explain to people how you can carry that forward, right? Of course, you can send them an email or a PDF, but a video is so easy because I can just send a link to anyone. You get my point, right? A lot of people create a PDF or a Word document. Don't do that. Create a video. I created my first video in 2019. And I did not really know what I'm going to do with it. But then over the years, I've realized that as an educator, as a trainer, it's very important for me. But also equally importantly, as a businessman, it's very important for me to have a channel, because every client that I go to, you know what they say, Havish, we saw your videos and we liked it. You know, so that is the value that it brings to me. I'm not earning any money from YouTube, but indirectly I benefit a lot from it. So that would be my suggestion. It's not easy to make a YouTube video because you'll have to learn a lot. You'll have to get the right software. You'll have to do some editing. In the beginning, it takes a lot of time. Now I can make 5 videos in 1 week because I've trained myself to do it. But very strongly, I feel all of us should have a video. Okay? A video of anything, you know, any example that you've done, create a video around. Mahesh, is there Power BI online like Tableau Public? This is the one, what I've shown you. Unfortunately, you can't share it with people as a website link, but I can share it with people as a separate link. If you notice, I can send a different link. Why don't I send it to you right now? Hold on. This will prove my point. All of you want to see one of my dashboards? Look at what I'm doing. I can just say website or portal. I can copy the link and I'm putting this on the chat window. I'm sorry, where's my link? Wait. Yeah, here it is. Copy and chat. Can all of you try to open this, please, from the chat window? Everyone. The link that I just shared. And if you have opened it, you should be able to see my dashboard. Don't you feel this is such a nice, easy way of sending your work and showcasing your work to other people? See, just one link I can share with everyone.
Havish, last question, not the least. So, see, whenever you do any project, one most challenging task is that requirement gathering, right?
Correct.
So, do you have any video on that? Like, what all checkpoints you need to consider while doing the requirement gathering? If not, can you please make one video?
I can, even though I'm not sure if I'm the best person to do it, because usually my client gives me the BRD and the FRD. So they tell me this is a business requirement and this is a function requirement. I only have to create the dashboard or write the formulas. So I'm not really sure if I'm the best person for it, but I'll definitely make a note of it and do some research. And if I feel that I have something valuable to say, I'll definitely make a video of this.
It's been 5 years I'm searching.
No, okay. In that case, you give me some motivation. I'll definitely try and do this.
Yeah, sure.
Great. Perfect. Any one last question, anybody?
Havish, could you suggest like what level for a beginner, what level of proficiency one needs to achieve in Excel so that we can start with Power BI, or is it feasible?
Yeah, right.
For
yeah, almost nothing. Starting Power BI has nothing to do with Excel because the formulas in Power BI are different. The data cleaning is different. Everything is different, right? So basically, when you're working on Power BI, let me give you an example. You know VLOOKUP in Excel?
a little bit, yeah.
I mean, as in you have heard of it, right? And
right.
I'm sure at least you know how important it is. I'm sure all of the 21 people right now will agree with me that it is super important. Everybody has to do it. Now let me show you something. Check this out. In Power BI, we don't have VLOOKUP. We have something called merge, which is on Power Query, and we have something called related. The function is not called VLOOKUP, it's called related. My point is that if you know VLOOKUP, in any case, you will have to learn a different function on Power BI, right? If you do not know VLOOKUP, then you learn related. Now, if you ask me that, Havish, if I already know VLOOKUP, will it become easier to learn related? Of course. See, if you know advanced Excel, definitely learning Power BI will become easier. But is it a prerequisite? No. Similarly, if you say, Havish, if I know SQL, will it help me to learn Power BI? Of course it will. But is it a prerequisite? Absolutely not. Right? I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Right? But remember, Power BI is not a replacement for Excel. It's a supplement and a complement. So don't learn only Power BI. Please remember, learning Excel is super important because Excel and Power BI have an integration. If you notice, check this out. In Excel, do you see this? I can actually connect Excel to Power BI. I'm doing it right in front of you. Look at this. So Microsoft doesn't look at Excel and Power BI as two separate things. For Microsoft, Power BI and Excel are one thing. It's a part of their business intelligence platform, right? So don't ever think, should I learn one or the other one? Think about learning both of them parallelly, right? That's how I do it.
Got it. Thank you.
Perfect. I have a 9:30 call, everyone, so I'll have to excuse myself, but I'm always available on LinkedIn. You have my email. Whatever question you have, you can put to me either on LinkedIn or on email. To the best of my ability, I'll be more than happy to answer. I obviously have courses in case you are interested, and if you feel you like the content and the teaching style, please have a look at this, right? And just share the link on the chat window. Perfect. That would be all from my side. Thank you so much for joining me at 8 p.m. on a working day. And I plan to do many more open sessions in the next month or so. So I'm planning to do some specific sessions, one on DAX, one on Power Queries, so that we can do topics in more detail, right? So everything that I do will be put on LinkedIn. So if you want to know what I'm doing and what I'm planning, LinkedIn is the best place to find that. Okay? Great. Thank you, everyone.